This is your Barbados Today Morning News Update from Monday, June 28th. A new Department of Family Services is coming to replace the Welfare Department very soon. Word of this from Minister of Maritime Affairs and the Blue Economy, Kirk Humphrey, as he addressed his constituents at a meeting of the St. Michael South branch last evening. Humphrey is the vice chairman of a committee working on the new entity, which comes in response to persistent complaints from the public.
Government is currently in the process now of restructuring the social services sector, and that we are creating a Department of Family and Children's Services, and that the Prime Minister chairs that committee. I'm the Vice Chairman of the committee, and that we meet regularly, and that the document is almost finished, and that we're going to pull together all of the different departments in that ministry, the Ministry of People's Empowerment, and bring all those social services-oriented sectors and institutions together to be able to better serve you and to better respond. So hold on, because we've heard you. We understand that your concerns are real, and we are making changes to the department. But I also want you to be very cognizant and aware that the reality is that some of these social services agencies have so many cases sometimes that they're overburdened as it currently stands. You have officers with so many cases that they don't always have the opportunity to come back. I was told last month there were like thousands and thousands of calls, so sometimes it's difficult to respond. So bear with us. But we've heard you, we understand you, and we are making the necessary changes. And very soon, there's what we know as welfare and the other agencies will be replaced by a new agency called the Department of Family and Children's Services in Barbados.
Meanwhile, crime and violence remains a front burner issue for the government, so assures Minister of Youth Dwight Sunderland, who also addressed the St. Michael South branch meeting. He pointed to several programs targeting the youth and said a major spruce-up of community centers is in the pipeline to engage more young people.
A program called Pathways Program, which speaks to the employability of young people, train them to become employable. We take these young men and women and send them to businesses. We partner with businesses. Over a 6 months period, and these are young men and women between the ages of 16 and 20 who leave school without any certificates. We do all the psychosocial evaluation firstly, and then we attach them to businesses. We also take some young men and women and train them to become law enforcement officers. We partner with the police as well. So this pathway program will see this year 1,000 young men and women being trained.
Officials from the Barbados Water Authority went one-on-one with residents in St. Lucie to discuss water woes facing the parish. At a town hall meeting at the weekend, residents vented their frustration at persistent water outages.
The people in St. Lucie have suffered. I have suffered, so I know they have suffered. We are vexed, yes. We don't expect the things to happen overnight. But what I would like is for the Barbados Water Authority to notify us when the water is going off, or when it's coming on, or give us a schedule. We can work with you. If you tell me that you're going to turn on the water at 6 o'clock in the evening and the water off at 6 in the morning, I can work with that. Yes. But I can work on the night. If you tell me that the water will be off from 6 in the morning to 4 in the evening, then I get home at 6 o'clock and they got water. I don't mind, but let us know. Please let us know. The same way that the others know that the water is going off, let us know. So that's all the same.
Director of Engineering Charles Leslie pledged that efforts will continue to fix frequent water outages. He also addressed concerns about the discolored water coming from taps.
In terms of the water supply, we are going to be augmenting or adding new water into the system. On island now, we have 2 containerized desalination plants, a brackish water one and a stick water one. And we're going to be placing those 2 at Polton in St. Peter. And that will add an additional 500,000 to just over 500,000 gallons per day into the system there. At the Hope location, we're going to be adding a seawater plant to the brackish water plant that we have there already. And that will add additional water at that point as well. So we're going to be increasing the supply into the system by as much as 80 to 90%. And as a result of that, we envisage that you will have a more continuous supply of water coming into the system.
Over to the parish of St. Andrew. Residents in Whitehill are anxious to know more about plans for the main road in their community. Last week, experts were in the area conducting geotechnical work to determine the type of road and where that road should go. Community spokesman Carlita Andrews said it was time for the government to talk to residents. She told Barbados Today it's not the first time the tests have been conducted in the area.
For the past 6 going in 7 years, they was telling us they were carrying out tests and stuff out there. I want to know what is the findings of the tests that they carried out before. How come now that they are now saying they're doing borehole testing, which meaning they was lying to us all along? Because it's only now that I see that really something like it, not that we are great, something like it going to happen, not that we are not grateful that it's happening, but we as residents of Whitehill still need some answers, because all along they was telling us they was carrying out tests for the past 6+ years going into 7, and nobody never come and tell us what was the findings or anything like that.
Andrews is calling for a town hall meeting so officials can fully update residents.
We was asking for a town hall meeting since Adam was a lad, and we didn't get in it. I don't know why we didn't get in it, but I hope someday we will get one that every person out here will get a chance to air the views, because other persons out here willing to air the views, but who to air it with? The only time people just hear about us or see us is in the media.
Government has been encouraged to invest more in agricultural research. The challenge came from Dr. Sonia Peter, Executive Director of the Biocultural Research and Education Program, as she led a recent tour of 2 facilities under the UNDP's Global Environmental Facility Small Grants Program.
The government commit to having a scientific research fund, which will have them establish a scientific unit with laboratories where we can have scientists come in and book the facility for a period of time to execute some of the research they're interested in. And maybe what they can do is to, I really, sometimes I'm a little cynical about panels and committees, but maybe in terms of rationalizing the process, we could have a panel which will prioritize proposals submitted and see where we can go in terms of this innovation and development.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news, the Entertainment Association in Jamaica has welcomed the decision by Prime Minister Andrew Holness to allow the sector to resume operations. This made the announcement in the House of Representatives recently. More in this report from the Jamaica Gleaner.
But he warned that the protocols for the return of entertainment events must be honored.
What I am clear on is that they all understand the risks involved. And we have said, Madam Speaker, and I think it should be said here as well, that if we see the numbers move, that we will immediately act.
At the same time, the Prime Minister has relaxed the COVID curfew hours. Effective July 1, the curfew will be Mondays to Saturdays at 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. and on Sundays from 6 p.m. to 5 a.m.
We believe, Madam Speaker, that this will allow almost full return in terms of business capacity to the quick service industries, and it will start the phasing in of entertainment.
On the international front, As the death toll rises to 9 with more than 150 people still missing, rescue teams on Sunday kept picking through the rubble of the Florida condo building that collapsed 3 days ago. More in this report from Reuters TV.
Miami-Dade Mayor Daniela Levine Cava said the additional bodies and human remains were found as the rescue team dug a massive trench through rubble overnight.
We've identified 4 of the victims and notified the next of kin. My deepest condolences to the families, the friends, the communities of those who've lost their lives, and my prayers with the families and the whole community as they mourn this tragic loss.
The 4 of the 9 victims identified ranged in age from 54 to 83. They were a couple married for 58 years, a volunteer Little League baseball coach, and the mother of a 15-year-old boy who was one of the few survivors of the collapse. Officials remained hopeful more survivors would be found in air pockets that may have formed in the pancaked debris. The searchers, including experts sent by Israel and Mexico, are using drones, sonar, dogs, and infrared scanners. Meanwhile, questions swirl about the tower's structural integrity. Surfside officials have released documents including an engineer's report from 2018 that found major structural damage beneath the pool deck and concrete deterioration in the underground parking garage of the 12-story building. The report was produced for the Champlain Towers South Condominium Board in preparation for a major repair project set for this year. A lawyer who works with the condo association said the issues outlined in the report were typical for older buildings in the area and did not alarm board members, all of whom lived in the tower.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.